Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe back, and I'm going to do my weekly reading update for August 2nd, 2020. So we're in August. Oh my gosh. So I didn't read a whole lot this week. I read more yesterday than I did like the whole week. It was just, it was a hard work week, just busy, and just, I was tired. It was men in the heat. We were in the, we had 100 in the beginning part of the week, and then 90s and 80s the rest of the week, and it was just too much. I just don't like it. Let's be honest. So I didn't read quite so much as I'd like to, but yeah, that's how it goes. So I'm going to go through the books that I read, the books I'm in the middle of, and what I think I'm going to read in the next week. So I want to do a really quick Jane Austen wrap up right here. I did have a really great month in July. I do feel like I read quite a few books. I think I read 6 altogether that I put for Jane Austen July. I did DNF or put aside several books that I'll have to come back to later that I just didn't have time for or didn't feel like by the time I got to them either way. So, but I did have 6. I did do most of the prompts. I read 2 of Jane Austen's main novels. I did read her selected letters for reading something other than her novels. I read, I did not finish the nonfiction for something from her time period or on Jane Austen. I got partway through What It Matters in Jane Austen by John Mullen. I will return to that once I have reread Emma and Mansfield Park. I just feel like I need to have more of a background. I don't remember them enough because it's been 20 years on both of those. So I think I need to reread those next year, and then I'll read that book because it was really interesting. It just didn't work out. But anyway, I got only partway through that one. I did The Contemporary of Jane Austen by reading Anne Radcliffe, A Sicilian Romance, and I read Heartstone as a retelling of Pride and Prejudice with dragons. Anyway, so those I did, and then movie-wise, I only watched 2. One of them was Pride and Prejudice from 2005 with Keira Knightley. I really enjoy the cinematography of this, like it's so gorgeous, and the music is awesome, and I think they did a really good job that way. It's a really stunning movie in how it looks. My problem is that it's not super accurate, and I know you have to clip things and make it for an adaptation. I think the biggest thing for me is scenes that were supposed to take place inside took place outside, and vice versa, and sometimes I just, as much as it was a stunning picture, it just drove me crazy because it was incorrect. Anyway, but that's just me and my love of the original novel, because again, it's my favorite book of all time. So anyway, but I still like this, returning this. I love the music. I listen to it every once in a while when I'm writing, so I do like that. So I watched that, and then the next week I watched Pride and Prejudice from 1995 because this is my favorite version. I just, again, it came out, when I was in my, at college. So to me, this was the one, and it always will be probably, just because it's the one I enjoy the most, because it's the most faithful that I've seen. Again, there are differences there as well, but not anything that is as jarring as I felt with the other movie. But again, I just love this one, and I love, I'm just so used to this one, I guess, as well. So I really enjoyed that. So overall, Jane Austen July went really well. I'm looking forward to next year. I already have my list started for that of stuff that I didn't get to this year that I want to get to next year. So anyway, so I just wanted to put that quick little wrap up in there. So going on with the books that I finished this week, I finished, I think on Monday or Tuesday, I finished The House on Widow's Hill by Simon R. Green. This is the 9th book in the Ishmael Jones series. These are urban fantasy that are kind of like British mystery manor, country manor, well, no, how do I want to say it? British country manor murder mysteries with a supernatural twist. Anyway, so these are fun because Ishmael Jones is a little odd himself. He's not quite what he looks like. He and his partner Penny are sent to a house to see if it is haunted. So this is like a classic haunted one, but it's really different. It was really interesting. I did like this one a lot. I liked some of the twists and what happened in it. And again, they're really short. They're fast reads. This series is just fun. I really have enjoyed this overall. So anyway, book number 9, got it first from the library because I'm always the one who asked for it. Anyway, so I finished that. Then I went on and continued with the Heartstone trilogy or I'm guessing it's a trilogy. There's only 3 books out, but I'll go with the series, whatever. This is Dragon Shadow, so this is the next book by L. Catherine White. I loved Heartstone. I reread it last week, so I really already liked that a lot. So I read this one. I didn't like this quite as much as the first one. I don't think I probably ever will want to reread it as much as the first one, but this was still a really good, solid second book. Again, it continues on with what Heartstone was, Pride and Prejudice with dragons. This one is talking about like their life afterwards, and when he goes on his first hunt after they're together. And so it's very there's some really good relationship things that happen in here, some sad ones and some things, you know, like things that are very human. I think she does really well at showing you know, the goods and bads of being with somebody. I did like that. And again, we get our dragons and we get our monsters and everything that continues with the fantasy world that was created in Heartstone. So I really enjoyed that. I like the arc that's going, what's happening. I do want to pick up the next book right away, but I'm trying to hold off. But it's I really enjoyed it. I think the first one I really loved, and this one I liked, but not quite as much, but it's still a really good, solid second book to the series. So we'll see what happens. Last night I read The Girl from the Other Side. This is volume 7 by Nagabi, who did the art and the story, translated by Adrian Beck. So I have been slowly getting these from my library. It takes months because they only have like 1 or 2 copies in the whole system for my county. And so it just takes a while. And then with lockdown, this one took even longer because somebody obviously had the 2. There were people who had the 2 copies and they didn't turn them in until recently. So once we're now able to do library pickups, our libraries aren't fully, aren't open. We're still doing pickup by appointment. So I got this on Friday, so I read it already. I couldn't help myself. It's been like at least 6 or 8 months since I read the last one. So this continues the story of it follows a young girl who we're not quite sure what's so different about her at first, and she's being looked after by a man she calls teacher, and we're not sure about his story either and how they're connected, and then all the weird stuff behind what's going on in this world. I really like this one. It's definitely a different palette. It's definitely more black and white. Because a lot of the characters are actually like all black. So it's very different. I'm not, the art style is very interesting. So again, I'm looking forward to this. I already have the 8th book on hold, like as in I'm number 6 on 2 copies. So it'll be a few more months before I get to the next book. I don't know how long this series is. I need to look that up, but I'm really been enjoying that. So I did finish that. And then I started on my summer fling, which is put on for the whole month of August by Sarah Steeped in Books and a few other people. I started with a reread. Typical. So I read, and this is a Night Shift, which came out in 2014, and it has 4 novellas in it. But I read last night, I read the first novella, which is by Nalini Singh, which is in the Side Changeling series. It's actually a 12.5. So it comes after Heart of Obsidian, which is one of my favorite books in the series. Anyway, but this is about one of the leopards and how he finds his mate and all that goes along with that. It's called Secrets at Midnight. And it's really one of the good ones. I like it. So I enjoyed that. I read that last night. It's just under 100 pages. So I did a reread first for Summer Fling. No surprise. The second one I'm going to read out of here is the one I started last night, but I only read like 6 pages, and that is The Beast of Blackmore by Milla Vane. So that is the novella that came out way before her series that just has been coming out this year of A Gathering of Dragons. So I want to read The Beast of Blackmore again because I haven't probably read it since 2014 when this came out. So, and I really enjoyed it then. I don't remember anything about it. All I know about it is a man, when he was a boy, made kind of a mistake, and the gods punished him in the prologue, which is what I read last night. And then the rest of the story is, I think, a woman. He knows that a woman's coming, and she's like his downfall or something. And she's going to find him because to either help her destroy somebody else or something because they're warriors. This is a dark barbarian romance fantasy. No, dark barbarian fantasy romance. So anyway, that's, again, it's a prequel to the series that I want to read next week, hopefully. We'll see. But I want to reread that, so I'm going to, and again, I just picked up the Nilling Sing one because I had picked up this book, and of course, you know, I reread it. Anyway, so I'm hoping, as I said, that one's the one I'm in the middle of. So anyway, so then I don't know what I'm going to pick up next. I have options. Because I'm doing so many readathons, there's so many books I could pick up. It just matters how fast I read the Beast of Blackmoor. If I want to pick up something fairly short, this isn't too bad. It's like 280. I might pick up the next book in the summer fling that I want to read, which is The Passions of Medora Graham by Elsie Lee. This is published in 1972. To me, it's old school. So my mom let me borrow this probably last year, which is why I want to read it here this next week, because I'm going to probably go visit her on my vacation next week, week after next. So I want to read this and give it back to her because I want to see if I like her. She's compared to Mary Stuart, so I figure these are romantic suspense mysteries, which Mary Stuart's books are like, which I really are one of my favorites, or some of my favorite books ever. So this one is about a young American woman who is kind of fleeing what's going on in her life. She goes to Greece, and then she meets a man, and of course things just go wrong. I don't know anything else beyond that. We'll see. Something about the gnawing hungers of both their dark and driven souls. Ooh, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to that. So I could read that next. Or I will start my book for ReadEHthon, which starts on August 3rd and runs through the 9th. I'm going to read Washington Black by Izzy Adujian. This is a book it's been on my shelf, not for super long. I think I bought it earlier this year or late last year. I don't remember when it came out in paperback. Anyway, I've been wanting to read it since I heard about it last year, the year before, when it was really big. And again, it's a historical fiction that has to do with a young black man. I think he's a boy. I'm not sure how old he is. He is from Barbados, and he is taken by his owner's brother on this trip that they're going, and I think things go wrong. Anyway, I don't know anything beyond that. I just hear it's really good and has some adventure, and they go places, and so I'm kind of interested to see that. So that's the book I want to read for that during this week at some point, because this is for that readathon. And then if I, you know, so I could very well finish those and maybe have time to read another book. I would like to try to read Flamebringer by L. Catherine White, which is book 3 in this Heartstone series. So this continues on right from the end of Dragon Shadow, so I would like to continue it. I read a few pages just to see it. I'm like, yeah, it starts right off. I need to read this book. So I'm not sure how I'm going to slip this one in, because this is not on any of my readathons, but I want to read this. So we'll see. I'm not picking. I might pick it up later today. I don't know. We will see where I'm at. I might slip that in before the other two. And then at the end of the week, Topple starts on August 8th. It runs to the 21st. Yeah. So, I have 2 books I want to read for that. The first book I want to hit is A Heart of Blood and Ashes. And this is the first book of The Gathering of Dragons by Milla Vane. This is what follows The Beast of Blackmoor. So this is her first book of the trilogy. I have the first 2 books already, so I need to read this book. Anyway, so this, again, it's, you know, dark barbarian fantasy romance. I'm looking forward to it. So I'm not sure how these characters are related to anything to the novella or what. I'm just kind of going into this a little bit blind at this point. I just want to read her stuff because, again, she's the also the writer Mel Jean Brooke. So The Iron Seas. So so this is at the end of the week. I might be reading this on the weekend, hopefully, when Topple starts, because this is over 540 40 pages. So it's a pretty long book. So well, not long, but you know what I mean. So it's definitely one I want to hit for Topple. So I can try to hit 2 books. Anyway, we'll see. But that's kind of where I want to reading. So that's everything. I have options for the week. I didn't read a whole lot this week, so I don't know. I think I'm over ambitious for what I'll read during this week, because it's not supposed to be quite as hot, but it is the week before I take vacation, so I will be really busy getting things ready for other people to do my job for a week, which always scares me of what it's going to be like when I get back. And I can't help myself. I know people say, well, don't worry about it till you get back. Oh yeah, but I worry about it because there's so much stuff that they could screw up in a week. It's just, anyway, and then I have to clean it all up. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, so that is it. That's what my reading's like. How was your reading this week? Was yours better than mine? Probably. How are you guys doing with your Readathon reading? As I said, I got all mine. Like, as I said, I have so many Readathons this month. I'm trying to hit the books that I put on my TBR this month as well. I'm like really focusing on these are the books I want to hit during these Readathons. And then I want to read other books around it, but I want to make sure I get these ones done for sure. So I think that's why I'm trying to hit some of them early. And then at least then I'm able to maneuver later in the month. We'll see what happens. I'm not quite sure. So anyway, I will talk to you guys later. Bye.